Dr. Cosmas Maduka is one of Africa's most respected entrepreneurs, having built a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate with a starting capital of less than $1, spanning across automobile, auto care, healthcare, ICT, and agriculture. He lost his dad at age 4, stopped his education in elementary 3, and took to hawking before taking on an apprenticeship in the sale of automobile spare parts. Today, he has moved on to signing dealerships with global brands like Rolls-Royce, BMW, Ford, amongst others, and has also been featured on Forbes, invited by the United Nations, and has also served as chairman of one of Africa's leading banks for 12 years. He says you require 3 things to succeed: vision, faith, and courage. Business Insights with Irene starts now, and I'm here with Dr. Cosmas Maduka, who will be revealing to us the secrets of living a financially free life. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Welcome.
Yes, I've heard you say once or twice that you never want to get to a point where you find a business venture, but you would not have the fund and the finance, to take it on. Talk about it with us.
It's about life dream, Life is all about dreams. Sometimes people tell you it's unrealistic, but the real truth about it is that everything is possible in life. I'm a great believer that all things are possible. Scripture supported it. The natural people also believed in it. The Nike slogan is impossible is nothing. If you look at the word impossible, you remove I am from it, it says I am possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have been considered a crazy guy when I said that, growing up as a young man, my dream is to live a life of financial independence. And by the grace of God, in the last 35, 40 years of my life, I've never sleep thinking about money. I've gained financial independence in absolute form by all standard in the world. But it didn't happen by accident. It's a dream. I was a struggling young man who deprived myself of anything, everything. It depends just because I am still modest by nature. Otherwise, I could own 3, 4 aircraft today, just like some of my colleagues did. But it wasn't a lifestyle that I like to live, okay? I sell Rolls Royce, but I don't own any one.
Wow.
It's just because of my nature, it's hard for me to begin to turn around. But I do not think that will happen with my kids because their father is wealthy. So just wait for me. When you don't see me, you see how they are going to enjoy themselves. That is very certain to me. But that's okay. It's realities of life. Somebody has to make sacrifice for others to come in. So the financial freedom is possible. And number one secret to financial freedom is management. Okay? God created a man to be a manager. I have some friends recently talked to me. They wanted to do certain things. I said, please go and learn financial management. Because in real life, anything you mismanage, you lose. If you mismanage your spouse, you lose it. If you mismanage your health, you die. If you mismanage your car, it will knock engine. If you mismanage your business, you run bankruptcy. So it's all about management. Management is the most important factor in life. If you can manage what you have, there's no limit to where you can go. Okay, we have scriptural principle about it. Jesus told us about a man that was given 1 talent and the one that was given 10, the one who was given 2. Why do other people have more? Because they managed well. And those who do not manage well, The little they have is taken away from them and give to the person that have managed better. So if you gain the secret and learn financial management, then you can have financial freedom. But if you mismanage your resources, resources is one thing that is not in plenty supply, is depletable by nature. So even nature teaches you that you need to be diligent and disciplined in deploying and managing resources. Nigeria as a country is what it is because of lack of management. If you find a good manager, he will fix this country under 8 years. It looks impossible, but it's doable. So the secret to financial freedom, in my summary, is management. How do you deploy resources? Again, it comes to what I said about opportunity cost. What do you think is important? The more you manage well, people build confidence in you and they want to entrust their resources in your hand. That's one of the things that makes me looks incredible to a lot of my colleagues. People think that I print money. The real truth is that people trust me with money. Can you believe that we built an institution where we made a name for ourselves around the whole world, that we only operate on suppliers' credit? It was not easy to secure the first suppliers' credit. Today, BMW gives me credit. Ford Motor Company, 200 and something years old company, give me credit. Akzo Nobel of Netherlands gives me credit.
That's for those that don't understand. When you say credit, what do you mean?
What I mean by that is they can ship merchandise for me without any deposit or any payment. Frankly speaking, without no agreement, but trust that Coscharis is a good company and will make the payment on the due date.
And we're not talking about maybe shipping one car to you or two cars.
The credit varies in the terms. The minimum I get is 45 days from the date of bill of lading, and it's expanded up to 270 days from the date of bill of lading, subject to what the product is. I mean, no limit. If I need product of $100 million tomorrow, if I promise I'm going to sell it, they will ship it to me. So so today I can trade freely. If I find any business that can make me money, I can find resources to do them, because Coscharis borrowed in all the banks in Nigeria on a negative bank, including Central Bank. We don't guarantee anything. You just know you are dealing with a good company. At a time, Exim Bank of USA also funded us also on open account. No collateral from any bank from Nigeria to collateralize it. Tell my suppliers, you can ship goods $100, $200 million to Coscharis. If Nigerian government has problem and there is crisis in Nigeria, they can't pay. We will pay you. So
that's exactly when you say you're going to pay. You don't delay by 1 day, 2 days.
Absolutely. It didn't happen overnight. You don't wish for it. You don't hope for it. I build it. It's part of the things that is clear to me is that there is one scarce commodity in Nigeria. And as a businessman, you need to look for the scarce commodity to make profit out of. Once you can find things that are very scarce and you have it, money will follow you.
What did you find was the scarce
Integrity
commodity?
is very scarce in Nigeria. It's not a common product. So, and I learned it from the Japanese, and I knew it was a winning formula. I cracked the Japanese with integrity. They were the first people that started giving me credit.
Excellent. Now, like I said, prior to now, the whole essence of Business Insights with Irene is to raise the next generation of successful African entrepreneurs. from what we've seen so far, you know that the talent here in Africa is beyond comprehension, particularly the young ones. There's a lot that is embedded within us. But there was something you said now. You have the capacity to purchase 3 to 4 private jets of your own, but you intentionally chose not to.
That's right.
What's the mindset behind it?
The mindset behind
Because
it,
I wouldn't say that we have
the
most
mindset behind it
fluid
is absolutely
airline services.
a discipline and a lifestyle. Okay, of course, some of these things happen with age. There was a young man that I'm mentoring recently. He became a billionaire. You know, I assisted him very early stage of his life. He became a billionaire, and I just saw him the other day. He was driving a Rolls Royce. And I scolded him. But again, I look back, I said, this has happened with age. At his age, when it was 35. At his age, I had about 6 or 7 BMW. I buy them by color. Yes, I did some of those crazy things. The same model, not different model. I have 635 BMW. I have 3. Blue color, silver color, and black color. So it's just like a woman taking on clothes. And there were no dealership in Nigeria. I go to France, buy pass of $100,000 or 200,000 euro, keep in my house to be able to be servicing my car. Okay, but at the age I am, 60 something today, those things doesn't fascinate me anymore. I was crazy about car between the age of 22 by 35, 40 is not, it doesn't mean anything to me. So maybe if I needed to have had a jet, maybe I should have acquired one before 40. But from that, no, it does not fascinate me. I just think it's a bogus lifestyle. It's good for certain people, you know, at a certain level of business. Is a prerequisite also, you know, certain level of business. But my business can thrive without it. So it's wasted investment and a show off for me to be able to embrace that lifestyle. But there are people that the level of their business, they need it because the places they need to be at certain time, you know, meeting up with those appointments, they cannot afford to waste any further time. But mine can accommodate it, and therefore it's not a prerequisite. If I do it today, I'll do it purely out of living luxury, not necessity of business requirement.
All right then. At this point, I think it's important we have this particular conversation. What should be the focus? Should it be while you're journeying towards, you know, financial freedom? Should it be focusing on your passion, or what would eventually give you, you know, profit, which is more like profit making, right? And then what role does the big question, who am I, play? So what role does that really, that question, who am I, what role does it play in terms of, you know, moving towards your financial freedom?
First of all, anybody who claims to be entrepreneur is a person who have decided to take a risk and be rewarded by that risk. That is fundamental. Okay, you can't be successful as an entrepreneur if you do not have passion. Passion is a fuel to the will. And I do tell people, when a man or a woman is passionate for what he's doing, he will do it effortlessly, because you will acquire something like adrenaline, an energy that is not common. Very uncommon energy comes into you when you are excited about what to do. So growing up, I suffer poverty. I have an idea what it looks like.
You didn't read it off a book, you experienced.
So a lot of people don't know what it is. And therefore, I was passionate that I'm going to go out of it and really don't keep it at a very far distance from me. And that is the passion. So I go to bed sometime, wake up by 2 a.m. with excitement what to do the next day. I never go to job looking for what to do till today. Before I get up, my head is clear on what I need to accomplish in a day. Part of the discipline I have that is also not common is that I can sit here for 12 hours focusing on what I'm going to do. I can only get up and go to bathroom. I cannot be distracted, and I will not pick phone if I focus on the things I want to do. People also do not understand the power of focus, but it also comes from excitement, about the passion of what you want to accomplish. And when I finish doing a good job, I smile. Okay, those are these things happen both in the spiritual and in the natural. When people are too busy multitasking, you want to make sure you reply every text, every WhatsApp that comes to your mail. This is that are not business related. Is a big distraction to you. Come on, if you really want to focus to achieve something, those things should be secondary. You must not be a news agent to forward every message and make sure you are the first person that forward it. Nobody ever get into Guinness Book of Record for forwarding a mail. But some people have taken this as a business, putting credit, just forwarding mail up and down, as like this thing have given them any credit. Nothing. It does not. It's absolutely distraction. So
lack of focus would impede on your productivity.
That's correct.
Would impede on your ability to be financially free.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that passion of being successful, you need to give business everything that they require. It has your full attention, and then you keep on, taking it. Yeah, of course, you can find time for funds and holidays, but not in expense of what you are doing. Because if you are really an entrepreneur, even while you are in holiday, your mind is not completely off what you do. It just help you to retune and move on.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Business Insights will be right back. Please stay tuned. At the initial stage, you would always, advise that young people should not focus on the money or the salary they're earning, but on what they need to learn. And then there was something profound you said to me at some point where you said, focus on your job such that you gain so much skill, you can actually set up your business yourself.
Sure. Yes, first of all, if you are really an entrepreneur, and what I mean by entrepreneur, you can learn it from school, but I also believe some of them are gifts. There are people who are born entrepreneur, and I happen to be one of them. Okay? Entrepreneurship is in my DNA. If anybody think I'm being too big-headed about it, good luck to him. But the real truth about it is that if that's who you are, you will make the worst mistake to take first paycheck. Because once you take a paycheck, you can be trapped with it by planning your life, and those are the challenge with young people. Instant gratification. You begin to show you arrive. I think the real entrepreneur must have some level of conservative. Okay, so in other words, so that you can have capacity to sit on wealth, you can be able to create wealth. You are not in a hurry to show you have arrived because of the goals you set for yourself. Okay, so therefore, if you have opportunity to work, your focus is what you learn, what you can gain from that job. If you have never read a book of Robert Kiyosaki, it's one of the best sellers in US. I recommend it for any young man. It's a story about rich dad, poor dad. His father was a poor dad, has a PhD, lecturer in university. His friend Mark His dad was not a graduate, but he was a rich dad. And the young man, at the very age of 9 years, went to his father and said, "Why do we go to school?" His father said, "We go to school to, to study and get a job and live well." So his son said, "We go to school to study, to get a job and live well." He said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, why then don't teach us about money?"
Make money.
Yes, I want to bypass this study. I want to learn. Is what going to school any job? Is it not about getting money? He said, "Yes." "Why don't you teach me about how to get money straight than all this?" His father felt frustrated. I said, "Please, stop this rubbish. Go to school and all of that." He said, "Dad, I want to know what is the essence of going to school. What is the end of it?" He said it. He said, "No, I want to bypass that." The father said, "Okay, if you want to do that, go and ask Mark's father. Mark's father is an entrepreneur. I cannot teach you about money." A young boy, 9 years. That's why whosoever you are, start from that age. I tell young people, many of them at 28, 30, some 40 are going to different seminars to become entrepreneur. Whatever you are going to be in life, you make yourself when you are young. It all happened between the age of 9 and 25. Actually, 28, 30, you're already on a borderline. Do they make it at 40? Did they make it at 70? They do. But it's becoming thin in the pyramid. The number and majority is between the age of 86% actually happen between 9 to 25. The other 14% happen from 25 to 100 years. But 86% of successful people, please go and check Bill Gates, check, name them.
Jobs, Oprah Winfrey.
Name all of them. Okay, you can find Uncle whatever, the Kentucky Chicken guy that made it at 70 after he has read his suicide squad. You can find some that made it at 65. But when they lose focus at that prime age, and that's when everything is competing for your attention. So if you miss it at that age gap, you become among the crowd that will be struggling. The chances of it become very rare. Okay, it can be done. It's not impossible, but you are going to be among 14% to 100 years age. But majority was at that very early stage. So the point I'm making is that it is possible. That one of the things the people think is impossible. It's possible to be financial independent. And what I mean by financial independent is where money becomes your servant and where you are not a slave to money. When you earn salary that you struggle to pay bill every month before the month end, you're a slave to money. Money controls you. Money is not your servant. But when you are financially independent, money becomes your messenger. Wherever you want to go, you send it a message. And it's much easier to do that by pursuing entrepreneurship.
As against any...
As against, very many people can also earn it by working. If you are proven to be really skillful and excellent in your contribution, there are still people who work for people today and earn up to $1 billion. There's many business people who doesn't worth that amount of money. So I balance it.
I think you should also help explain to us the difference between work and your job.
It's very clear. That's one of I come from spiritual point of view about it because God created a man to work. Okay? If you read the scripture very well, he took Adam and put him in the Garden of Eden to address it, means to work. Because the difference between a forest and a garden is the order you kept on it by addressing it. So your job is where you go and they pay you money for the things you do on daily basis for them. But your work is what you are born to do. So you never fulfill your work until you find your passion, the reason why God created you on the earth here. So you can go to your job, keep your job, and learn to deploy yourself to be able to work. That's what I tell people, because sometimes you need a job to create a capital. If really you are called to be an entrepreneur, you manage that resources and save it, and ultimately set up a business from the money you earn. But a lot of people say, I don't have capital. Capital doesn't fall from heaven. It's either you do manual job and get a capital, or you do a desk job and get money. Because to show you an entrepreneur is somebody who create capital, who create wealth. So that small capital you have, you deployed it to recreate it, and then that you have proven to be an entrepreneur.
And then you usually say that it's not what you are able to, it's not what you make that will make you rich eventually, but what you're able to keep.
That is correct. That's why I'm also saying that it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's depending on how disciplined you are to deploy them in a sustainable manner, because you need to know that it's depletable in nature, resources. That's what money is all about, and many other natural resources. So you need to manage them, keep them for generation unborn. Jesus said, a righteous man, that's scripture, leave wealth for his children, children. A lot of Christians who claim to be business people want to go get a car. Car is not a wealth, because the first generation cannot use it. But to say he leave wealth, God never gave his children a car. God gave his children real estate. Take them to Canaan, give them land. So that's why they call it real estate. When you don't earn money to own a property, you can't say you are wealthy. That's what you live for generation unborn. So you need to manage. Many of us drink our wealth by the things we eat. If you learn to manage resources, you will be surprised that some of the people today who is still living tenant should have put money in a property, looking for somebody to, maybe a bank, to finance the balance for them, that they could even resell it to be able to own something small much earlier. But many like visiting America, traveling overseas allowance. You continue to say this money is small, but you are deploying them. You are, vanishing them. Put those, if you save consistently 2,000 naira every day, you'll be surprised what it will be in 30 days. And you'll be sure what it will be in 1 year. And you'll be more surprised what it will be in 10 years. There are very many people who should have owned a property, but they don't own anything. They use it to drink Coca-Cola and 7-Up. Lack of discipline, they filter those monies away. That's why I said management is the key for successful and financial freedom.
And then what would be your, advice for those people who are listening to you right now, who would say to themselves, I think it's time for me to start, ensuring that I'm financially free, and not just for me, but for the next generation.
Part of the problem many people have is the worry of other people's expectations upon them. And that's one of the things you cannot survive doing that. Self-confidence is everything in life. When you are comfortable in your own skin, many people live their life for people. Oh, if I stop coming for party every week now, what will Irene think about me? He would think I have problem. Oh, what would this person think?
They'll think I don't have money.
They think I don't have money. It's lack of vision. When you have a vision, you are in prison to your vision. You don't see anybody. You don't listen to anybody until your goal materializes. Then you will not be looking for friends. friends will be looking for you. Everybody want to be your friends.
And you would not need to explain to
And you don't need to explain. But the only thing is that because of expectation of people, many of us have keep on abusing ourselves every day because we want to. One of the first things to do to be successful, if you are truly a born entrepreneur, you must be willing to be misunderstood. That's a prerequisite. So what people think about you is not important. I do not want to say it not in an arrogant way, not because you are doing something bad, but you will be prison to your vision, your goal to achieve will what take priority in your life. And that require unprecedented discipline. You are not following the crowd. You are not trying to make sure you belong. Whether you do not belong is immaterial. Your vision imprison you. You live a narrow life until you arrive at your destination.
I think I like this wrap-up, statement where you are not focusing on anybody. Nobody is your priority. You're not trying to, impress anyone.
Sure.
It's laser focus for your vision.
That's right.
If you really want to attain that level of financial freedom. Thank you very much for joining us on Business Insights with Irene.
It's a pleasure.